It's a city that's home to the world's 3 major monotheistic faiths, drawing in more than 3.5 million tourists a year. And of course, it's the diversity of ancient monuments, civilizations and architecture that everyone finds so compelling about Jerusalem.
And history just keeps on giving, because every day, even now, new discoveries and secrets are being revealed. And in fact, one of the world's most significant and controversial excavations is taking place right underneath my feet.
Hi.
Franny.
Nice to meet you.
Rajan, hi.
Welcome to the city of David. It's the most spectacular place to be in Israel. Okay, let's go and take a look. We're walking up this...
Franny is a guide and hugely excited about the excavation of what was the pilgrimage road 2,000 years ago.
So these are all original stairs that we're walking up.
It was discovered by accident after a water pipe burst on the road above it during a snowstorm in 2004.
We're about to have a big climb.
Yep, let's do it.
Up we go.
The pilgrimage road runs from the ancient Siloam pool to Temple Mount, also known as Haram Esh Sharif in Arabic, at the top. It's been almost totally excavated now, and this is what they discovered. Paving stones in almost pristine condition.
So we are now walking on original 2,000-year-old limestone street that was the center of all of Jerusalem.
This is the original limestone.
The original, perfect as if it was walked on yesterday.
It was in the 19th century that archaeologists first twigged that the ancient city of David wasn't actually within the famous old city walls of Jerusalem, but here, further south. But why is it so significant anyway?
So the city of David is pretty much ancient Jerusalem. It is the Jerusalem that starts as the capital of this area 3,000 years ago, which means everything that Jerusalem is today, pretty much we can learn about it, whether it's politically, religiously, culturally.
This former car park is where more incredible discoveries have been unearthed from the Roman and Byzantine periods and before. It's going to become the visitors centre when all the work is complete on the pilgrimage road.
As we go down, we're going back in time.
Astonishing.
When you see all of these different layers, we're pretty much going back thousands of years. You have a house right down there, just right below us. It's from 586 BCE. Up here with these columns, we're talking about the Roman time period. That's already 300 years later, and we're only, you know, a couple of meters up. Just, wow. It's really so small.
So you're actually walking up and down.
You're walking up and down through
ages.
Time, exactly.
It's still a few years before this will all be completed, but in the meantime, tourists are helping to uncover the past. Archaeologist Frankie Snyder regularly supervises groups of visitors as they help to trawl through the debris. But first, she gives them advice on what to look for.
So, let's grab a bucket.
Okay.
And see what we can find here.
Okay, let's go.
For everything else.
All the buckets we're sifting from today come from the pilgrimage road.
What might this be?
Oh, a tooth?
Yes.
Wow. Let's look at that. This is a first for me. I'm holding a 2,000-year-old tooth.
Most days, teams of volunteers and tourists turn up and sift through a surprising amount of debris.
People love to find coins, and you heard somebody holler a few minutes ago that they found a coin.
And here it is.
Most of our coins are made out of bronze, so they're going to be green, round, flat, and cruddy. First, we'll find out whose picture is on the coin and what the date of that coin is. Like the ones that we found with Pontius Pilate's picture on it. He was the procurator.
And infamously or famously?
Infamously is the one who condemned Jesus to die on the cross. Beverly, I'm going to give you one more piece to throw into.
And as a seasoned archaeologist, how comfortable is Frankie with the excavation happening underneath people's homes?
I have seen them down there working, and they have a whole method for how they drill into an area that they're going to go into, how they put framing inside of there, and then take the dirt out, so that it's a secure tunnel.
Whilst the project team insist utmost safety for local residents is the priority, that isn't quite how everybody feels, especially amongst the Palestinian community who live here in Silwan, above the City of David's site, which they call Wadi Hill Way. Local residents say cracks and sloping like this to dozens of houses have been caused by the excavation, complaining it's like enduring an earthquake. Nonetheless, the Israeli Supreme Court rejected those claims. As with many issues in Jerusalem, there are two quite different stories being told. And Aziz, a travel writer and guide, offers the alternative Palestinian perspective through his tours in the city. I met him at Damascus Gate.
So Jerusalem has many layers, and under us here there is a road from the 2nd century.
From the 2nd century going underneath here?
Yeah, it's the old market.
Aziz feels it's important to recognise that here in the market in the old city, local Arab families have been here for generations. Aziz's tour company offers visitors to many cities around the world with complicated histories a chance to experience an alternative perspective to what's in front of them.
The whole building was actually under where we're standing now.
And for here, given the chance, he thinks there could be a whole different type of tourist route in Jerusalem.
The city of David will tell you the Jewish story there, which is legitimate and it's important to be told. But it doesn't really tell you the story of the Palestinian residents there. It doesn't tell you the history of the Islamic groups that have lived in Jerusalem as well. And so if you come to Jerusalem and go to the city of David only, you will hear one narrative, a single narrative. And that's not fair to a city that has so much history, so much diverse history. It has Jewish history, it has Christian history, it has Muslim history, and in each of those has multiple histories as well. Ibn Battuta, an Arab traveler, said, "Travel makes you speechless, but then it turns you into a storyteller." And the best way to visit a place is talk to those shopkeepers, talk to the people you meet in the streets. Everybody here is willing to talk to you and ask them questions. Ask them about the history that you are not being told. Ask them about their stories, the stories of their shops. How long has their families lived here? Talk to the people who live in the city and you will find so much more. Marhaba.
And that's exactly how Aziz found out about this next discovery.
He's saying 2,000 years of history.
Down here is 2,000 years of it. You've got to take me down.
I am taking you down.
Whoa, look at this.
Welcome to underground Jerusalem.
So, Aziz, tell me, what are you seeing down here? What is down here?
This is probably around the time of the Crusades, the Ayyubite dynasty. And there are very few people who've seen this. We didn't know this exists a year and a half, 2 years ago. So it's an amazing thing what you see right now.
And in terms of levels of history, so you're saying this could be the Crusades. Beneath here,
there is another level. And this is obviously not only under this restaurant, this exists everywhere in the old city in Jerusalem.
Whole new stories to be told.
So here's the rub. In Jerusalem, any excavation is going to be both amazing and controversial at the same time. But for followers of three of the world's major religions, curious tourists and lovers of history alike, the fact is this city will always be a draw.